AmerLink not only offers you the most complete weather-tight shell package on the market, but also combines its entire staff and resources to assist you in making your new home the masterpiece you dreamed it would be.
We at AmerLink pride ourselves on our customer service capabilities. From our wood selections, through the milling and planing of our logs, to our truss, window, and door facilities, we keep the customer at the forefront of our business. With a state-of-the-art computer-aided design system and complete customer file database, AmerLink uses today's technology to give you the individual attention you deserve. Once your order is received and approved, a specific customer service representative is assigned to assist you as you prepare for the delivery of your AmerLink home package. He or she will advise you of the different steps you should take prior to delivery, will acquaint you with company policies and procedures, and if appropriate, can even help you acquire financing for your new home. With proper preparation, the delivery of your AmerLink home package can be both exciting and an enjoyable day for you and your family. After delivery, our post-delivery service representative is always ready to answer your questions regarding construction and maintenance. And if an item appears to be missing or is damaged and is so noted on the delivery documents, the post-delivery service representative will arrange for replacement or repair as quickly as possible. Our goal, after all, is to see that you become an unofficial spokesperson for our quality log homes.
This video construction program is designed to work in conjunction with your written construction guide to explain and help you successfully complete the preparation and construction of your AmerLink log home shell package. This program will take you step by step through all phases of site preparation to completing the trim on your weather-tight home shell.
Site preparation can be very simple on a clear lot that has no trees and may have formerly been farmland. However, most people choose to build on a lot that is wooded to some degree. If there's a lot of timber on your site that must be removed, it's often wise to consider the wood's value and make arrangements to offset the cost of site preparation by selling some of the timber. You might also consider converting some of the timber into lumber for railings and decking, or the use of slabbed-off logs for interior beams for a rustic appearance. Once the building site is cleared, you must mark off the foundation. Stake out approximately the four corners and the general layout of the structure as it will sit on the lot. At this point, a masonry contractor generally is called. He will square off the points for excavation and dig the footings, placing boards at intervals to maintain a level for the pouring of concrete footings. Once the footings have set properly, the concrete block foundation can then be laid up. You can choose a low crawl space foundation or full height, which increases living and storage space and provides easy access to the first floor area for electrical, plumbing, and ductwork. This home uses 3 foundation types: the full foundation or basement, crawl space, and concrete slab. The low crawl space foundation allows access underneath the first floor area for plumbing, electric, and heating system work. As you can see here, the height of this foundation is only 3 or 4 courses of block above the footing level. The concrete slab is also used and is popular in many areas. Slabs can be poured either in one piece, including the footings, or the footings may be poured separately and the slab poured on top. It's very important today, in order to conserve energy, to make sure that a rigid insulation, such as styrofoam boards, is placed underneath the slab to insulate it from the ground. This will also make the slab a thermal storage area and help maintain stability in the temperature of your interior environment. Delivery is a simple procedure. To assure that your delivery goes smoothly, it's best to make a few preparations. Make sure the driveway is capable of handling a 45-foot flatbed tractor trailer and the building materials once the truck arrives. Many people use 4x4 dunnage boards to set the materials on when they arrive. Others make use of small trees that were cut down at the building site instead of 4x4s. Please note, in the case of full foundations, it is advantageous to backfill around the foundation prior to delivery to provide a level area close to the house for material storage. Foundation walls should be braced from inside during backfill to prevent damage to the foundation. The delivery of your AmerLink home package is confirmed upon the receipt of your pre-manufacturing payment. At that time, you should also make sure that your delivery instruction sheet has been completed, including contact phone numbers of neighbors and contractors, or anyone who may be involved in the delivery. This will assure that if there are any last-minute delays while the truck is en route, you and affected individuals can be contacted and the delivery can be further coordinated. Most deliveries are scheduled between 8 and 9 in the morning. As a rule, 4 to 6 individuals can accomplish offloading of the truck within 4 hours. However, we strongly recommend that a forklift or other offloading equipment be rented to hasten unloading and to lower the risk of damage to materials or injury to individuals. Stacking the materials on dunnage boards and keeping them off the ground assures a cleaner-looking home package upon completion. The proper arrangement of materials as close to your building site as possible is also helpful, as it means less work and less materials handling. If a full foundation is present, you also have an excellent place to protect items such as windows, doors, nails, and tools from the weather. All materials left outside, especially plywood, should be protected from the weather. Although it is exterior grade, it's not designed for continuous exposure to the elements, especially rain. Polyethylene plastic or watertight canvas is acceptable. Please note, however, that these items should be covered in such a fashion that air can circulate, allowing moisture to dissipate on a dry, sunny day. Once the foundation is completed, you're now ready to put the floor system supplied with your AmerLink home package in place. AmerLink provides a conventional floor system as standard material with every home package. Many customers, however, choose to upgrade to a clear span floor truss system. These pre-engineered floor trusses can save time during the construction process, remove or minimize the requirement for support piers, and provide a helpful chase through which wiring or plumbing may be run without drilling and then be concealed. Generally, the additional cost of the clear span floor truss system is more than offset by the savings realized during construction. Here we see the installation of a conventional floor system. Once the support beams and the perimeter ribbon of the conventional floor system are leveled, the installation of the floor joist begins. This particular application makes use of a ledger board for the lower edge of the floor joist to rest upon. This view shows the application of bridging material between floor joists to keep them from twisting. Floor joist strength is maintained by keeping them vertical. Twisting and warping with age is possible, and the application of the bridging supplied with the package will prevent warping and maintain the strength of the floor system for the life of the structure. After the conventional or clear span floor system has been installed, the decking is laid. AmerLink supplies 3/4-inch locking plywood decking as a standard. This material offers a superior floor system for several reasons. It is a single-step system rather than the 2-layer process that has been frequently used in the past. The 2-layer process is not necessary here because the locking edges prevent the plywood sheets from working against each other and causing squeaky floors. To assure an even higher quality finished floor system, construction adhesives can be put on the edges of the floor joist before the plywood decking is installed. This additional step will ensure a superior quality of your floor system for the life of your structure. It is advisable to have electrical power at your building site. This can be accomplished in 2 ways. Temporary power can be brought to you by your local power company and metered to you. The power company can bring in a line for temporary service that will later serve as your main power input. If this alternative is not available when you need it, the alternative is to rent or borrow a generator. These generators are gasoline powered and capable of anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 kilowatt power output. We would certainly recommend 2 to 2.5 kilowatt power output if you plan to use power tools.
If no electrical power is available, a small chainsaw can be used. Small gasoline chainsaws with the narrow chain, similar to electric chainsaws, do a fine job and cut a very smooth and straight line.
Please note that chainsaws used for cutting firewood often are worn. This can prevent your saws from cutting straight, even lines. It is essential to have a chainsaw that is in good condition to assure a fine, high-quality job. The Makita saw is a specialized hand tool, now widely available in rental agencies. The Makita saw that swings a 16-inch blade performs fine quality, precise cuts. Many AmerLink dealers and distributors have this saw available for sale as well as rental. A half-inch reversible drill and an impact wrench with adjustable countersink capabilities will allow for simple pre-drilling and lag screw insertion efforts. Sturdy sawhorses are essential. They can accept 2, 3, even 4 logs, and if you're building them specifically for this chore, it is advisable to make them lower than a standard sawhorse, as the materials you're working with, logs and timbers, are heavier and higher than dimensional lumber.
Unless you have chosen, as many customers do, to have your logs pre-cut by AmerLink for the notch and pass corner system, you may wish to purchase templates from AmerLink. Templates can be used to simplify the marking of all logs prior to cutting.
These templates will quicken the erection process and assure consistently accurate markings and the ability to cut precisely. However, templates are not essential in the erection of an AmerLink home package. They are, however, recommended for builders and contractors who contemplate erecting home packages on a regular basis. A cradle fabricated from a 2x6 with 2x4s nailed securely to each side holds the log's curved surfaces and makes it easier to both mark and cut the logs. Also, logs of any length, even those that would not span between the two sawhorses, are easily handled with a cradle like this. Prior to the laying of any logs, the first thing that you should do, whether building on a deck system or on a slab, is to lay out and mark the floor plan on the deck. This can be done with a chalk snap line or a large carpenter's pencil as well as a tape measure. It is essential to first mark the door openings where the door bucks will be fabricated and around which the logs will be fitted. It is also recommended to mark where all intersecting interior partitions will be contacting the outside wall, as well as the center of window openings on all 4 walls. It is especially important to do this if one is modifying the floor plan of a standard package or working with blueprints that have not been modified exactly to the floor plan of your choice. One first starts measuring in from the edge of the deck system to the point where the inner flat surface of the log will lie. This measurement is normally 4 1/2 inches on our preferred floor system, or even with the inside edge of the 2x4 pressure-treated sill plate. For those people building on a conventional box deck that will be utilizing a skirt package, the measurement in from the edge of the foundation is normally 3 3/4 inches. Using a chalk line, snap a line 3 3/4 inches all the way around the perimeter of your deck system or slab foundation. Then, using your blueprints or your own floor plan, mark out the location of windows and doors on all outside walls. After determining where all window and door openings are, lay out the intersecting interior partitions and where they will butt up against the outside log walls. It is important to do this at this time, especially where modified floor plans are being used. It will assure that window and door openings will not interfere with interior partitions whose locations may have been changed. It is also possible at this time to have an idea of each room's size as you lay out the floor plan on the deck. If actual sizes appear different than they did on your plans, you still have the opportunity to make minor changes prior to starting the first course of logs. If you purchase the pre-cut corner option with your AmerLink log home package to speed the erection process and provide you with construction labor savings, you're now ready to begin laying the logs for your new home. However, if pre-cut corners were not part of your order, the first course of logs must be temporarily laid on the deck or slab and marked for cutting of the notch and pass corner system. Here we show the first skill saw cut in a series of cuts for making the notch in our log. All measurements are normally taken from the inside flat surface of the log to make it easy to locate the mark where the notch will begin. The next cut on the notch will be 4 1/2 inches from the first. You then make a series of skill saw cuts 1/4 to 1/2 inch apart between those two cuts. Once the skill saw cuts have been made, use a hammer and chisel to clean the rough wood out of the notch. Now dress out the notch using a small hand block plane or a chisel to smooth some of the roughness and assure a close-fitting joint. Using either a template or flexible straight edge, mark the curved surface of the log where it will be inserted into the notch. This mark will be 7/8 of an inch from the end. This allows an 1/8 inch space between the end of the log and the inside surface of the notch. The 1/8 inch extra play assures that the joint will go together, and that any roughness left in the notch will not keep the butt log from going all the way in. When the curved surface has been marked, use a skill saw set at 1 inch depth to make the cut. Then make a vertical cut on the end of the log with the skill saw still set at 1 inch depth. This will remove the curved portion of the log, giving you a squared end to fit into the notch of the receiving log. Here, the inside edge of the first course of logs is lined up with the inside edge of the pressure-treated seal plate supplied with the package. Using the notch and pass system of extended corners necessitates putting the first course of logs down correctly, ensuring that the top course of logs that supports the roof is extended. A bead of caulking sealant is placed on the bottom center of the log prior to placing it on the floor system or seal plate. Once the logs have been measured, cut, and sealant applied, the log is set in place and prepared for the lag screws. To allow for settling, we strongly recommend that you pre-drill for these lag screws with a 1/2 inch by 8 inch bit, which includes at its base a bit providing for a 1/2 inch deep countersink. The countersink is particularly important as it will prevent the head of the lag screws from extending above the top of each log and possibly causing gaps between logs. Holes are to be pre-drilled in the center of the log every 30 inches. The lag screws may be inserted using an impact wrench, making the log connection process quick and easy. Once the lag screws are in place, 1 1/8 inch diameter holes are to be drilled at all butt and corner joints to allow for the insertion of wood dowels. The depth of the hole should be such that it extends 1 3/4 inches into the log below. Caulking should be inserted into the hole for the dowel, and the dowel then set in place with gentle taps using the head of a hammer. It is very important that the fit be tight, so don't over-drill by using a bit that is too large. As the dowel is inserted, the caulking will be squeezed up and around the dowel, resulting in a weather-resistant seal at all vertical joints. After the lag screws and dowels have been put in place, the PVC gasket material is applied. The notch and pass corner system used in AmerLink homes is the tightest corner system available today. One of the characteristics of a solid wood structure is its tendency to absorb and dissipate moisture over its lifetime. A tight-fitting dowel with caulking assures that even with a slight shrinkage in the joint will remain weather-resistant. Measure and cut logs to meet front and back door bucks. These measurements will be made to the points previously marked on your floor system. The door bucks are made of 2x6 framing and put in place after marking the floor plan on the deck. Many people choose to wait until the first course of logs is down, installing the bucks as they reach each door opening. The inside area of the door buck accommodates a pre-hung, pre-assembled door. This buck is nailed to the deck system and held upright by knee braces. The size of window and door bucks is determined through the use of your construction manual and blueprints, as they vary from one home package to another. Here we show the knee bracing of both door and window bucks. Note how the base of the knee is fastened to the deck. Once the door bucks are plumbed and secured vertically, and later the window bucks plumbed and installed, it becomes quite easy to maintain a perfectly straight wall during the construction process. Many people, both do-it-yourselfers and contractors, prefer to install corner posts after the installation of the first course of logs. These corner posts are typically 4x4 or doubled up 2x4s. They're located in each corner of the structure and supported by knee braces. just like the door and window bucks. This gives you a perfectly vertical guide for measurements and installation of all corner logs. These corner posts do take a little time to install, and they require additional patience in working around them at the corners. However, they do assure a quality job in the end. Pre-drilling of the logs prior to insertion of the lag screws is necessary. However, be sure to pre-drill only the log you're lagging through, not the log you're lagging into. Also, be sure to utilize a whisk broom or some other device to make sure all drilling material is removed from between the tongues prior to setting the next course. Any debris on the tongue and groove surfaces will prevent the precision mating of the logs. When the lag screws are inserted, they should be countersunk 1/2 inch below the surface of the log. Once the first course of logs is completed, the rest becomes very simple. The track and lock log system with tapered tongue allows the addition of subsequent courses of logs simply to track upon the ones below. They will self-align within the normal building tolerances of construction. Here we show the alternating extended logs of the classic log wall. Notice the overhang of the first course of logs that allows the skirt siding to be placed underneath to cover the edge of the deck systems. These alternating joints in a log structure contribute to its extreme strength and structural integrity. Where one log passes over another at a corner joint, it becomes necessary to remove the tongues from the lower log. This is easily done with the use of a chisel. Place the adhesive foam gasket on the top of each tongue with the paper backing up. Once the gasket material is in place, the paper separator can be removed. Place a 1/8 bead of sealant at the base of the outside tongue. It is important to put this down just prior to setting the next log. On a hot day, it can dry out and lose some of its adhesive properties if allowed to sit too long. Upon completion of your second course of logs, mark the exterior wall receptacles as shown in blueprints, or as determined by your own judgment. Drill a 3/4 inch hole with a long shaft auger bit. A hand bracing bit may also be used if electricity is not available. These auger bits are also readily available at most rental tool stores, which normally can be found in the yellow pages of your local telephone directory. If you do not have the long shaft auger bit, a standard auger bit can be used. Simply drill the hole through each log as it goes up the wall. This will allow you to place receptacles at any height in the wall. Lay the third course of logs in the same manner as the first two. Take care to stagger the joints to avoid a straight line of joints going up any given wall. Remember to pre-drill for all lag screws, recessing the head of each 1/2 inch below the surface of the log. On completion of the third course of logs, it is time to fabricate and install the window bucks for the standard size windows. Transfer the window pre-marked on the deck system to the top of the third course. Then remove the tongues using a chisel. The height at which you install the windows is determined by the desire to maintain a straight line with the tops of door bucks around the outside of the building. Non-standard windows, non-standard doors, or the desire to vary the height of a window for personal reasons can change the beginning point at which the bucks are put into the log wall. Also note that some people choose to notch the window bucks down into the top of the third course to eliminate the need for notching into the bottom of the 12th course, which acts as a lintel over each door and window. This is an optional situation, and most people prefer to place the buck on top of the third course without notching it. For proper aesthetics, always try to align the tops of windows and doors at the same level around the perimeter of your home. The outside edge of the buck frame should be flush with the crown of the logs. A straight edge run up the outside of the 3-course log wall can be used as a guide. Once the buck is in place, nail through the bottom spreader into the top of the third course of logs. This procedure gives the window casing a flat surface to seal against. Knee braces are used, as well as cross bracing, to maintain the square of the window openings. Knee braces should be nailed securely to the deck system or staked to the ground outside to assure they are maintained perfectly vertical. Using the same techniques of laying one log on top of another in the first 3 courses, You may now run the walls up between corners and the window and door bucks. Bath, kitchen, and non-standard windows will be located in different courses, depending on their size and dimension. Refer to blueprints for further information. Nail the window and door buck sides to the ends of the logs to hold the wall perpendicular. To allow for natural settling, it is also beneficial to nail through the buck lumber at a downward angle. Leave the nail heads extended so they can be easily removed if necessary. The use of knee braces to keep door bucks perfectly square and perpendicular is important. We recommend these units be checked occasionally during construction process to make sure that no one has knocked them out of square. Upon reaching the 12th course, you will have to notch over door and window bucks. The depth of this notch is determined by the height of the window or door, and the need to allow a 3/4 inch space between the bottom of the notched out log and the top of the window frame. This 3/4 inch space will later be filled with the spray foam provided with the package. This space allows for any settling of the log wall over its lifetime without affecting performance or distorting the window and door frames. Door bucks can be removed for routing in of wires, for electrical receptacles, and switches next to an entranceway. Once the routing out has been completed and wires have been run, the side bucks can be replaced. The spreaders, including the top one, are normally left out. Permanent nailing of the side bucks should be by toe nailing at a downward angle with no more than 2 nails per log. Again, it is essential that a 3/4 inch space be left between the top of the window bucks and the bottom of the lintel log. That is the log that acts as a header over the window and door openings. Improper spacing over window and door openings is one of the most common errors made during the construction process. The spacing recommended is approximately the same that is used in conventional frame construction and is necessary to assure a lifetime of satisfactory performance. When you reach the 13th course of logs for the gable end walls, it is advisable to remove the tongues prior to installation. These tongues must be removed to provide a flat surface for the gable end truss and gable end framing. This truss or framing must be set back in from the edge of the log to allow for the thickness of the siding and the insulated sheathing. It is much easier to remove these tongues while on the sawhorses than up on the 13th course. The tongues on the 13th course of the front and back walls must be notched to allow for placement of the trusses or rafters. To assure that these notches are cut in the proper place, it is best to lag screw the log down prior to measuring and notching. 2 feet on center is normally the standard spacing for trusses, while 16 inches on center is typically for roof rafters. However, in some applications, spacing may change. Check your blueprints, truss prints, and packing list to determine the spacing for your trusses prior to the marking and notching out of the tongues. Call your AmerLink post-delivery service rep if you have any questions. Single-story trusses without a room built into the upstairs area are easily set by hand with the use of 3 to 5 men. They can be skidded up construction material leaned at approximately a 45-degree angle on the end of the building, or they may be inverted and rotated into a vertical position. Large room and attic trusses, as well as trusses on large buildings, can be awkward and even hazardous to maneuver by hand. In these cases, we recommend the rental of a small crane for about a half a day. This will simplify and speed the erection of the roof system immensely, as well as make it safer. The recommended system is to set up both gable end trusses first. At this point, a taut line is run down the peak, or in some cases, along the lower overhang of the truss. All the trusses are then lined up and set to this line, assuring a straight, even roof line. As trusses are all set in place, they should be secured with diagonal bracing along top and bottom cords. It's very important that these trusses do not start to tip over. If they are not properly braced and one starts to fall, a domino effect frequently occurs, which can be hazardous to any workers in the area. Once trusses are all in place, floor decking can be laid on second-story models. This will further stabilize the truss system. AmerLink supplies 4x8 sheets of 3/4-inch locking plywood decking, which assures quiet floors because the edges of the plywood lock solidly together. Roof decking is applied next. Starting on a gable end, extend the roof plywood past the gable end truss the distance required by the amount of overhang you're going to extend. 16 inches is typical. First, nail the plywood to the gable end truss with its lower edge even with the trusses. The ends of each sheet of roof decking should not be nailed until the second course of sheathing is put on above it. The second course of roof decking should be staggered so that the joints are centered on the sheet of roof decking next to it. This procedure is followed in each successive course of decking, going up to the ridge of the roof. This method is used so the top chord of the truss can be moved slightly one way or the other to assure even parallel spacing all the way up. Upon reaching the ridge line, be sure to leave enough space for the proper function of the ridge vent when used. This allows heat to escape from the attic area. The spacing for the louvers varies depending on the application. This information can be found in your construction guide. As soon as roof decking is complete, roofing felt should be applied to keep everything dry. This roof decking is an exterior graded material. However, it's not designed for exterior exposure on a continuous basis. The application of roofing felt will protect the decking, as well as all interior materials. Wood lathing should be nailed over felt in windy areas until shingles are applied. Failure to use roofing felt may void your shingle warranty. Gable ends are now framed and made ready for insulated sheathing and log siding. Z-strip flashing can be used where sheathing and siding meet the top course of logs, or simply use caulking to seal this area from the weather. Matching log siding is now applied over gable end framing and sheathing. This is a shiplap material which prevents infiltration at any of the joints. See the standard detail sheet for the options on gable end overhang treatment. It may be necessary to apply some framing for your gable overhang prior to installation of your matching log siding. Shingles can now be applied over roofing felt. Our standard high-quality 3-tab shingles carry a 20-year warranty. We also offer optional heavyweight shingles with longer warranties. Other roofing is also available. Contact your AmerLink representative for details. If a porch roof is part of your standard plan or is being added to your design, it can be applied over the porch gable end for a really finished appearance. It is best to determine this ahead of time before starting the application of gable siding. The window jamb on the inside is flush with the flat interior of the log. Non-standard window applications may require the application of an extension jamb to bring the inside jamb flush with the interior wall. If necessary, it is relatively simple to apply prior to the installation of your interior window casing. The space left between the window jamb and the log will be filled with the spray foam provided with the package. This spray should be applied prior to the application of the interior window casing. The careful use of this urethane foam insulation sealant around windows and doors will assure superior energy efficiency. Free-hung exterior doors are installed the same as windows, except the exterior casing is applied after the door jamb is installed. The construction guide covers the installation of doors and windows very closely. It is important to shim door jambs directly behind hinge locations. This assures sturdy installation and proper performance. Roof overhangs on the front and back should be finished off with a fascia and soffit that is provided with the package. See blueprint detail sheet for specifics. Porch roofs are supported by post and carry beams with spacing as shown on your blueprints. If there is any question on the spacing or any other details, contact your AmerLink representative. As a general rule, no concern is necessary unless spacing is greater than 8 feet between posts. The edge of a standard floor system can be concealed with a course or two of matching log siding. This is the same log siding used for the gable end of the building. These siding courses provide an attractive, finished appearance for the entire home. If dormers are being used as part of the standard design or added afterwards, they can also be covered with matching log siding. This siding gives the full log appearance all the way to the roof line. The shiplap configuration of the log siding locks out the weather and provides a uniform appearance for the entire home when applied over the 1/2 inch insulated sheathing supplied. The architectural design of the AmerLink home you've chosen may include the need for an inside corner. This style requires only straight cuts with a skill saw, just like the notch and pass corner technique. The corner post, as shown in the standard detail sheet of your blueprints, is usually 2 by 2. Other details are shown on the blueprints and in the construction guide. The interior of the inside corner can be finished off flush or extended as in the typical outside corner, depending upon personal preference. Most amateur builders prefer the corner post, as it requires only straight cuts and is the easiest to accomplish. If you should choose the contemporary log style of construction, most all the techniques remain the same except for the corners. The corner of the contemporary log is doweled in alternating fashion for each course. The notch and doweled combination again provides a superior weather-tight corner. Additional strength and tightness can be provided by lagging or nailing through the ends of one log into another, although toe nailing is all that is normally required prior to the application of the corner boards. Whether you have chosen the classic rounded appearance or the contemporary log style, be sure to protect your investment and the natural beauty of the wood. We have available a number of high-quality preservatives that will suit almost anyone's taste, while providing protection from the elements and maintaining a fresh appearance. We will be happy to help you select the product and color of your choice. AmerLink can provide excellent customer service to you as you progress with your home. Our trained service people are always anxious to assist you in answering any questions you may have concerning the construction of your new home. You may contact our customer service personnel by calling our toll-free number, 1-800-872-4254. Our computerized system will keep tabs on your progress, and our customer service personnel will be as up-to-date as possible with your needs.
All of the points described in this videotape are contained in the AmerLink construction guide. While the videotape shows the procedures in progress, the construction guide is an invaluable on-site tool. Now that your home is completed, you can look forward to a lifetime of satisfaction in an energy-efficient, low-maintenance home. If you should ever choose to add on to your AmerLink home, the process is very simple because of the precision milling of our logs. Thank you again for choosing AmerLink. We know you'll be happy.